building a business is a lot of work. Whether you're buying an existing business or building something from the ground up, you are going to need to stay organized and on task if you want to be successful. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I stay organized as a small business owner who has purchased 2 existing businesses, created a YouTube channel, and is looking to expand my portfolio and all the different businesses that I'm trying to get into. Hi everybody, I'm Brandon Gustafson. I own and operate 2 assisted living facilities, and I created this channel to help people just like you learn the ins and outs of investing in assisted living. Welcome to Assisted Living Investing. In my last video, I talked about how I use my small business credit card to just how I use it, the process that I go through and what it's like for me to use it in my business. And today, I'm going to get into a topic that I'm extremely passionate about, something that I absolutely love doing. It's how I stay organized as a small business owner. How do I stay on top of everything that I've got going on top of a full-time job, my work with my assisted living facilities, the YouTube channel that I do here, and some of the other things that I do. I've got a lot of balls in the air, and it's really hard sometimes to keep on top of all of those things. And so what do I do to make it work? And like I said, I'm super passionate about this. I love organizing things. I would say the biggest thing, number one, is I'm an organized person. I'm lucky enough to have been blessed with a very organized mind. Things, I can do that very easily. It's something that makes sense for me. If I had to say if I had a superpower, that would probably be my superpower, is being able to compartmentalize different things and organize it so that I can work on things in a sequential order and be productive with my time. I've also always enjoyed working with lists, and I do a lot of to-do lists and create checklists for myself to help keep myself on task. I am very much a list person, and that is something that has allowed me to kind of create some of these checklists and things like that help me be successful. In fact, I have a checklist, and I'll link it up actually down in the bio for something that I've created for assisted living to help you go through the process of acquiring a facility or converting a home into a facility. But creating checklists, in my mind, is a great way for you to be successful. So I highly recommend it. You can get that on assistedlivinginvesting.net. I'll have it in my resources page for you there on the website. So feel free to go over there and get that free resource. Something I would suggest, though, is that you develop a system that works for you. Don't worry about what other people think. Don't worry about what the experts think. Don't worry about anything that people tell you need to do this if you want to be organized. You need to find a system that works for you. I'm going to share my system, how I build things, how it allows me to be successful. But you got to find what's best for you. And if my process works for you, then great. And I would love to have conversations with you about that and how you could implement some of these things into your life. I'm going to get into a lot of that in the coming videos about how I do a lot of this organization for my mind. So hopefully that will give you a little bit of an insight into the way that I kind of build things and organize things in my life. But ultimately, you got to do what works for you. And really, I use 3 main tools to effectively organize my work. And if these tools are in any way useful to you, I would ask you that you like this video so other people can find it and find the useful information on how to organize their lives. So tool number 1 is bullet journaling. So bullet journaling is a method that was created by Ryder Carroll. I think I'll link his book down below in the description, and you might be able to see it behind me. It's on this shelf. It might be just out of the camera, but he has a book on the bullet journal method, and I'll link that down below so you can go and purchase that for yourself on Amazon. But at a high level, bullet journaling, it allows you to be extremely flexible in how you plan out your day and the different type of work that you need to do. It uses a system of dots and lines and symbols that help you stay on task and know what you need to do at a glance as you look at your journal. the other thing that's just incredibly just awesome about bullet journaling is it's extremely flexible, and you can create a system that works for you. That's something that I love about bullet journaling, and I'm going to spend a lot of time going into how I do my bullet journaling, to help you kind of learn that process as well if you're new to the method and would like to learn more about it. Tool number two for me is Notion. I use Notion.com. It's a web-based application, and it's also just extremely flexible and letting you build a system that works for you, that you need to track your work. There's a bit of a learning curve there, as you're building out Notion, but there are a ton of YouTube videos out there and blogs and things to help you kind of learn the ins and outs of things. And you don't have to create some big, huge, robust website, web application for you. You can build something very simple, that is going to work for you. And I will, in a future video, I'll link up here. It's going to be a while. So if you're watching this as I launch this this video, release this video, it's going to be a while before I link that up there. But I'll give you some resources there around how to use Notion and some of the things that I've done that allows me to be successful with Notion. I like to use my personal bullet journaling method in conjunction with Notion to stay on top of my to-do lists. And I'll pull that all together at some point in a future video, and I'll link it up here once it's available. I also use Notion to take notes or create wiki pages for easy reference to different resources. For example, right now, the American Rescue Plan Act was signed into law back in March of 2021. I think it was March, it may have been May, but there's a lot of information on there, and it impacts us a lot as assisted living facility owners. And I want to learn a lot about it. And each state is different because they were funds that were given to the different states. And so I've created a wiki page in my Notion, so that I can go and do a bunch of research here, a bunch of research there. And I've hired a virtual assistant to do some of that work for me, in compiling that information so I don't have to go out and find it. I just give some direction there. They go find that information for me, compile it, and then it just makes it a lot easier for me to have calls with people at the state and things like that as I try to figure out exactly what I need to do to go and take advantage of those programs that are there for me to take advantage of. Hopefully that makes sense. And something you've noticed there with those first two methods, bullet journaling and Notion, is they're both just extremely flexible. They're built in a way that allows me to do something that works for me, for my mind. And that's something that for you is going to be an advantage as well. You want to make sure you have something that is flexible enough that you can build it and use it to your advantage for a way that makes sense for you. And those two tools are going to allow you to do that. So I would highly encourage you to kind of do a little bit of research in those and start implementing them, so that you can then be just a little bit more effective. And tool number three is Google Calendars, something that you probably have used in the past, and maybe you haven't used it to its full capacity yet. But Google Calendars are obviously a free resource that anybody can use, and it can really help you block time off in your calendar. I love the concept of time blocking, which is like blocking off chunks of time in your calendar to get things done. In a future video, I'll go over kind of the process of how I time block, and I'll show you what my calendars look like a little bit. Again, that will come up at some point in the future. So if you're watching this at the launch of this video, it won't be on here for quite a while, but I'll eventually link it up there above, so you can go in and see how I use that and how I color code my calendars to work on the different types of projects and businesses that I'm working on that help me stay on top of everything. And how I do that is after I've planned everything in my to-do list, in my bullet journal, and in Notion, I'll then go into my calendar and I block off the time for what I'm going to work on. And then the following day, it's very easy for me to just glance at my calendar. Oh, I'm supposed to make this call right now. Oh, I have this meeting. Oh, I was going to work on this project right now. It just helps me stay on task in getting those things done. So I know that's a lot of information. It's a lot of tools, and it might seem overwhelming, especially to some of you who just are not organized. My dad, for example, is one who just he's tried to implement some of these processes before, and he just can't. Like it's just not in his nature to do those things, and that's totally fine. What I'm hoping though is that I can show you how I use these three different tools to organize my life, and hopefully one of them is going to work for you. You don't have to do all three. You don't even have to do two of them, or you mix and match. You can do one of them, whatever works for you. That is the important part. If you want to be successful, find a system that's going to work for you to allow you to be successful, to stay organized, to help you stay on task so that you can get things done and be an effective business owner, which is, as an assisted living facility owner, that's what you are. You're a small business owner. And for those of you who are watching the video that don't do assisted living, I think you're still going to be able to get a lot of good information from this video and from my future videos around how to plan and use a lot of these tools to help you be an effective business owner. Now, in my next video, I'm actually going to get into what is bullet journaling. I'm going to give you a good overview of the history of bullet journaling, how it works, and get into a lot of that so you can kind of have that background as I get into my method of bullet journaling and how I would suggest that you go about doing this to help organize your life. So make sure you watch that video. And again, if any of this information was helpful to you, please just smash that like button and let me know, and let other people find out these resources so that they can be more effective business owners as well. And then, to learn more about investing in assisted living, make sure you visit me on assistedlivinginvesting.net. I have other content up there, working on getting a blog up and going. And you can also set up a consulting call with me. We can have a conversation about your situation. If you want to learn about my system and how I do planning and things like that, just visit me on the website, set up a call, and we'll have a conversation and see what I can do to help you out. And just remember, it doesn't take a lot, just a little bit. Just keep making progress step by step by step. If you keep doing that on a daily basis and you're consistent with it, I promise you that you will be successful. Thanks for watching Assisted Living Investing, and have a great day.